What is up, guys? Welcome back to YouTube, Burlick, for another video when we're going to be doing ranking the albums from worst to best. And in today's video, we are doing the legendary band Pink Floyd. That their album Animals is actually my top 20 favorite albums of all time. So yeah, there's a bit of a spoiler, but I hope you guys watch that video because yeah, it is on the thumbnail there. But yeah, so Pink Floyd, of course, everybody knows them for Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall. But there's so much more than that. We have 15 albums, and for a prog band, that's not actually too bad. You know, it's kind of like the middle there. It's a pretty good amount of albums. So let's just get into the ranking. I absolutely love Pink Floyd. Pretty much honestly, albums 11 and up are all really, really good albums. And they might have only have one bad album, but even then there are highlights to that. So yeah, let's get into the video after the intro.
Hands up.
Okay, guys, so after the intro, again, we're going to be ranking all the Pink Floyd albums from worst to best. So coming in at number 15, I think this is pretty common for most people. We have Umaga, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. So yeah, this album is, I debated if I was going to put it on the list or not because it's like half live stuff, half studio stuff. And the live stuff is actually kind of good. It's lots of old songs, like A Saucer Full of Secrets is on there. And the live songs are pretty good stuff. But that doesn't really contribute to the album because it's live. But for the second half, the studio stuff, very experimental and honestly kind of very bad. After their psychedelic for two albums with Syd Barrett, this was, I believe, their first or second album without Syd Barrett, and they were kind of all over the place. They didn't seem to know what to do. And the highlight of the second half of the album is what is it called? A group of several furry animals, like grooving with a pick or something. Just a bunch of random noises for 5 minutes. So definitely give this album a listen. But yeah, you're not going to really enjoy it. But it's still good to experience it, of course. But yeah, just not really much there. So as my number 14, we have The Final Cut, which is kind of The Wall 2. It's like a Roger Waters final album because this is loaded with Roger Waters stuff. And I absolutely love Waters. I don't know why I can't say his name. He was my favorite person in the group. But yeah, this is too much Roger Waters. I'm going to admit right now, The Wall, I think, is a tad overrated. Actually, very overrated. But we'll get to more of that. And honestly, it's just too much. The only song that Roger Waters doesn't sing on, which is Careful With That Axe, Eugene, is actually, like, really, really good. Sung by David Gilmour. It's the best song on the album. I don't know if it's called that, actually. I think I might be thinking of something on Umaga, but whatever. The song that David Gilmour sings in. Oh, there, Not Now, John. That is it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm an idiot. But yeah, that is it. That's the best song on the album. Yeah. So my number 13 is the band's most recent album, The Endless River, which I believe came out in 2013. It's a little over 10 years old. And it's mostly just ambient stuff that was kind of like on the post-Roger Waters era. Kind of just ambient, more proggy stuff that they came together with. The only song with vocals is the last song, Louder Than Words, which is actually a really good song. And I do like some of the vibes of the other songs too. Lots of just like songs leading into each other. And this is a good album to have on. It is enjoyable, but like not something that you're going to be like, that's really amazing. And if you like calming Pink Floyd, honestly, this might be just for you. But there is really good stuff on 13 and up. So like, yeah. I do like The Endless River. So coming in at number 12, I have More, which again, I debated putting this as on this list because it's actually a movie soundtrack for a movie that I don't think really hit big. But there are some good songs on here, most notably the Nile song. So yeah, More is just a movie soundtrack for a movie I think about more drugs. I think that's what it's about. But hey, it's a decent album. So coming at my number 11, we have Obscured by Clouds, which is kind of an album that everybody forgets about. It's past Adam Hart Mother, so it is kind of like what people like know about Pink Floyd, but it's before Dark Side of the Moon, and it's kind of forgotten about. It has some interesting songs on it by far, but just kind of a forgotten album of the band that is very underrated, but at the same time, like, come on, it's definitely not like when they became monsters in the studio. Definitely not like, definitely not after they became monsters in the studio. either, because like it's kind of in a weird middle period for the band and it's kind of hit or miss for me. So yeah, we entered the top 10, and at number 10, I have the second out of the 3 post Roger Waters albums, and it will be The Division Bell. So The Division Bell coming in at number 10. The last song in it, High Hopes, is maybe literally my top 5 Pink Floyd songs. But other than that, the songs are just all right. It doesn't sound as 80s as the first post Roger Waters album, which we'll get to later on. But it still sounds like pretty good, and I do prefer it over the sound of the first one. But it's like, you know, it's a good album. So my number 9, we have Saucerful of Secrets, which I believe is their second album. Yeah, it's with Syd Barrett when he was starting to get kind of druggy, which is why they had to get rid of him and everything. There are some really scary songs on here, and it's very interesting and psychedelic. Not as psychedelic as the debut, I'd say, but it's very, very, very good. So coming up at number 8, this is going to surprise lots of people. The only other person that I saw put it this low was Sea of Tranquility, which I absolutely love his videos. But yeah, it's like the most overrated double album of all time. It's The Wall, coming in my number 8. Okay, let me quickly tell you guys something. That The Wall is a great album. I just think if they cut out half the crap on this album, it would be even better. Another Brick in the Wall, I'm going to tell you guys right now. I like the song, but it's kind of overrated. I don't know. But the songs Mother, The Trial, and that's about it. No, I'm just kidding. Comfortably Numb. I forgot about that song being on the album for some reason. Those are all really, really good songs. But I just think because I just don't know. I'm just not a big fan of like this really, really concept Pink Floyd stuff. And I just think because it's a bit too long. And there's some overrated tracks on the album. This is why I have The Wall all the way down to number 8. But it's still, like, all these Pink Floyd albums are all really good after 11 and up. So, like, number 8 is still better than, like, number 2 on most lists. Like, it's a really great album. I understand why everyone loves it. But for me personally, it's just like, I have the vinyl, though. I didn't get it out, but I do have the vinyl. So, am I number 7? I have Piper at the Gates of Dawn, the band's debut. I'm going to start getting in depth here, around here. So, it's very psychedelic. The song Bike, and of course, Interstellar Overdrive. Absolutely love those tracks. Syd Barrett leads the group here, obviously, but this is before he kind of got really crazy. Of course, the band is crazy. But, yeah, those 2 songs, and I just absolutely love the vibe of this album. Really, really good debut. Almost as good as the top 6, but these top 6 albums are all really, really good. So, coming by number 6, we have Metal. No, not that metal. Not metal. It's metal with 2 D's. So, this album, the songs are One of These Days, A Pillow of Winds, Fearless, San Tropez, Seamus, or actually pronounced Seamus, and Echoes. So this album is one of their best smelling, but in reality, it does smell very good. But in reality, the reason this album is so respected that it has Echoes on it. The last track on the album that is, I believe, longer than the rest of the first half of the album combined. Because that song is so amazing. Like, it gives chills every time when the vocals come and you can hear them with their mouths. Overhead the albatross. It's one of their top 3 best songs, and I will admit it's a tad overrated, but it has to be because it's so like in high regard. But you might be thinking, does that carry this album? Well, which it kind of does. But the first 2 songs, One of These Days, which is an instrumental masterpiece, I think, and A Pillow of Winds, which is surprisingly calm and kind of like love song even. Those first 2 songs are both really, really good as well. So yeah, number 6 is Metal, but actually, really, really good songs on here. I really, really like Echoes, of course, but One of These Days and Pillow Winds, really underrated. You should definitely check this album out, because it's kind of forgotten, because it's before Dark Side of the Moon. So number 5, this might be a bit of surprise, but I have A Momentary Lapse of Reason coming here. I mean, this is a great album. I know it's post Waters, but 80s is one of maybe my favorite decade in music. Some of my favorite albums come out of the 80s. But though it does sound a bit too 80s, Gilmour's guitar work is insane here. Learning to Fly is an amazing song as well. And I do like how the album sounds. It's just a bit too 80s, you know what I mean? With like the reverb and the loud drums, like I probably spit there. I couldn't see anything, but I probably did. But it's a really good album. So these top 4 albums are just some of the greatest albums known to man. I'd say the big 5 of Pink Floyd albums is probably minus one of these. You would probably add Metal to it and then The Wall. But, you know, they're just all so good. And I have these top 4 all on CD. Out of my top 6, 5 of them are on CD. And I also do have The Wall and Vinyl, as I said. So at number 4, which is the most iconic album of all time, I even have a shirt of it, which now filming this video, I'm like, why didn't I wear my Dark Side of the Moon shirt? Number 4 is Dark Side of the Moon. Which, you see a bunch of just girls wear this on their shirt, even though they don't know what it is. They're probably just all artsy and like, oh, I love myself some, what is it even called? I don't know. I love myself like a prisms. I love how they create color. But yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that one. The songs on here are Speak to Me, Breathe in the Air, On the Run, Time, The Great Gig in the Sky, Money, Us and Them, Any Color Like, Brain Damage, and Eclipse. Everyone needs to take a listen to this album, because this is maybe the most iconic album of all time. Here's something that I heard someone say, and I like to say. Dark Side of the Moon is the best album of all time, and it's not even the best Pink Floyd album. It's kind of true. It is kind of true. I'll admit here, this is a top 5 album of all time, but it's not my favorite, because I think it's just a bit overrated. It's amazing how all the songs lead into each other, but if I'm being honest here, On the Run, not my favorite. I do like some of the experimentation. I don't think it has to be that long. The Great Gig in the Sky, the music's a bit boring on that one, and the vocals I'm just not a big fan of. I'm going to be honest here. And then, that's about it. The other 8 songs are all insanely amazing. Speak to Me isn't amazing, but I love how it leads in. But Breathe in the Air, Time, Money, Us and Them, and Eclipse, some of my favorite songs of all time. But just a bit overrated in my opinion, and it's still so good. But this number 3 album here is gonna surprise lots of people, but it's kind of the album that I like to hold in my heart because it's not one that people talk about that they need to talk about. My third favorite Pink Floyd album, Adam Hart Mother. Yes, it is. Look how cute the cow is. Look at his big butt. I absolutely love this album cover. And there's only 5 songs on here, but the songs are Adam Hart Mother, If, Summer of 68, not 69, Fat Old Son, and Alan Psychedelic Breakfast. Which, my 2 favorite Pink Floyd songs is probably number 3 is probably going to be Echoes. Then my second favorite Pink Floyd song is the Adam Hart Mother title track, the Adam Hart Mother Suite, which is 24 minutes of all experimentation. And I absolutely love the first part with the horn section. Minor Throats Please has some of the best experimentation I've ever heard. But the thing is, no song sounds like it. And that's what I absolutely love about Adam Hart Mother. And it's, the title track's amazing. But If, Summer 68, and Fat Old Son are 3 just short little cute songs that are really amazing. And especially Fat Old Son, I really like that song. And Adam's Psychedelic Breakfast, it's a psychedelic song, and it's good, even though it does have breakfast eating noises. I mean, this album, I absolutely, it's probably in my top 40 favorite albums of all time. And it's just, I really like to have an album that not a lot of people talk about. Because this is, I believe, the album after Umaga, where they're still trying to find their sound. And they don't exactly find their sound, but they do find something that is amazing. This is truly an album that you have to listen to as a band. And I've seen it be ranked in the bottom 3 all the way up to top 3 because it has lots of variety. Some people like it, some don't. I personally love it. I think it's better than Dark Side of the Moon. So my number 2, I guess I really like their albums with only 5 songs because my top 3 are their ones with 5 songs. My number 2 is Wish You Were Here. And this is an iconic kind of tribute to Syd Barrett, which is great and all, but the music itself on here is amazing. Shine On You Crazy Diamond parts 1 to 5 is better than part 6 to 9, but that guitar riff is amazing. I love the lyrics. I love the melodies. Welcome to the Machine is a really, really dark song, industrial song. Welcome to the Machine. It is amazing, too. Have a Cigar. I believe it's sung by somebody else. I forget who sings it, but it's not a member of the band. Classic. Wish You Were Here. Probably their most popular song. Classic as well. And though it might be a bit overrated and obviously overplayed, it is still really, really good. And the 5 songs on here are amazing. Lots of people say this is their best album. And again, Dark Side of the Moon might be the best might be the best album of all time. It's not the best Pink Floyd album. The best Pink Floyd album is, I know I kind of spoiled it at the beginning because I told you guys it was in my top 20 favorite albums of all time. But yeah, number 1, gotta be Animals. Gotta be Animals. If Adam Hart Mother's Sweet is my second favorite song by the band, Dogs is my favorite song by the band. There's really only like 4, but you could even say 3 songs on here out of the 5 tracks. Because the first song, Pigs on the Wing 1, is just a little cute little acoustic part. And the last track, Pigs on the Wing 2, you can combine them into one. But they're a nice little palate cleanser and kind of intros to the album. And they're both really, really cute, and I love them. They're really catchy too. But the 3 main songs, Dogs, Pigs, and Sheep, all might be in their top 10 best songs. They're all absolutely classics, and this album sounds a bit different. Probably their most prog album, and that's what I really, really love about it. Dogs, I love the melodies so much. That guitar riff is amazing. The guitar solo, the lyrics, and they kind of represent the different people of society. So yeah, that's what I love about Dogs. Pigs, love the melodies. Ha ha, shoo-ah. It's so catchy. Sheep ends really, really cool with that riff. And yeah, as I said, the Pigs on the Wing parts, really nice palate cleansers as well. So this album, lots of people do rank it pretty high, but not lots of times number 1. I'm not going to be like, oh, Animals is so underrated, which it is underrated compared to the ones, but I'm not going to say because it is still one of the best albums of all time. And people do talk about it, just maybe not as much as Dark Side of the Moon. So Animals is their best album, in my opinion. Tell me what you think in the comments down below, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Animals is the best. Thanks for watching this video. Now look at this person. And again, thank you for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe, even though garlic is bad. Anyways, bye.